Alright, so here we go. And starting on the front row, ESV Scottson, pole sitter for the first time this season, looking to get his first win. Right next to him will be FRF Toys. Following behind him is SSR Bobberts, along with Jim Supra, looking to rebound after a little mistake at the end of last week's race. Then in third row will be LMPM back in racing form with ESV Breeze, who was in a great position last week to possibly win the race. And then here's a man that's been struggling this season, not having the best of luck in his favor, AMS Huracan. Alongside him will be LMP Amoeba. Behind them in the next row will be RDE Jansen with ESV Delete. We haven't seen him for a while. Well, at least a week. He wasn't here last week. Behind them in the next row will be QLS Claudio. Alongside him, first time A-Lobby appearance, SSR Emmy. So the first time we'll get to see the bright green slapshift racing machine out there. Behind them is SSR Shane and FLA Feedy. RDE Godspeed. Alongside him will be MEX Zatera. Further back, Diamond Man 2014 alongside FLA Red One. And rounding out the field will be FVR Jamster and TGM Brentwood, who are kind of coasting back. They're not sure what their plans are. But nonetheless, we'll ride with Bobberts to start this race. And it's been a really exciting season so far. You know, back at week 1 at Magello, we've seen all kinds of action, but the real big story was make it on fuel. We saw a bunch of drivers not finishing very well because of the fuel strategy. We saw like Lightning running out of fuel and like several others, which made it very interesting to see how it played out. Week 2, it was a grinding battle after a lot of mistakes from some of the drivers early on as Lightning ran away with that one, but the mid-pack battle was fantastic. And then last week, what a spectacle it was at Nürburgring. You know, those guys were duking it out every single lap, and it seemed like they were never going to give an inch of each other. And here we go this week at Dubai. What will we get out of this season? Or this week, I'm sorry. What will we get out of this season? Who knows? That's a good question as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, strap in tight. The 4th week of the MEA Prototype Challenge is about to begin at Dubai with ESV Scottson, your race leader here at lap number 1, and they are green. And Super got a really good jump off the line. Bobberts did not do the same. Side by side going into the little S section there. You see Scottson was able to hold off Toys to start this one. And Super says, I'm going to stick with these guys, and I'm going to check out too. Bobberts is a little distance on EM right there. And it looks like there's some trouble for somebody further in the back of the pack. That's MEX Zatera, but it also looks like Jamster and Red One had a mistake early in this race. They were coming out of the pits. Some issues early on here, ladies and gentlemen, for some of the drivers. Go further back, we hop on with ESV Breeze right here. Breeze right on the back bumper of LMPM. For the race lead right now, ESV Scottson fending off FRF Toys right now here at lap number 1. Bobberts getting to the rear bumper of Jim Super right now, going through the tunnel. The rear view camera right now running with ESV Scottson. You see Toys trying to make a move. He's looking for the move. He's all over the back bumper of Scottson, bumping and banging. Scottson going through a little last section here after the first turn. Able to fend off just a little bit. Let's go further back and ride with Super, who's under fire right now. That's our Bobberts, who lost a little bit of ground on him just a little bit ago, but he was all over the back bumper of him. We have technical difficulties. I'll be right back. All right, we got that corrected. Do apologize. And we're still on the lead battle here between Scottson and Toys. Toys looks to the inside, not able to get by him. Still all over him. These two qualified within 5 thousandths of a second of each other, ladies and gentlemen. That's 5 thousandths of a second qualifying. Scottson obviously got the pole, but Toys right there as well, and they are flying down the racetrack. Scottson looks like he get a little bit deep going into that. One of Scottson's favorite tracks in Forza. Toys making him work. Bobbert's starting to phase off into the distance just a little bit there. LMP, Yem, and Breeze still battling for the 5th and 6th spots right now. Super trying to catch back up. Oh, and they tapped the wall right there. Toys is a little bit of ground coming off the corner. Woo! And Toys got a big run going right into Scottson right there. Almost got really dicey, and Scottson was able to hold on to the car, but wow, Toys really threw the car in there and was able to not overdo the moment, but that was a little wild right there. Super just waiting for a mistake to be made. Bobberts has fallen off into the distance right now. So it's right now a 3-car battle for the race lead. Back through the tunnel again. And if you're just tuning in, this is week number 4 of the MEA Prototype Challenge. Right now we're watching the lead battle between ESV Scottson and FRF Toys. Scottson got really close to that wall, almost clipped the tires. There goes Toys looking to the inside. And Supra's now in the mix as well. A 3-car battle for the race lead right now. ESV Scott's into race leader. FRF Toys right there in second. Third, Jim Supra. Bobbert's not too far away either. He's still in striking distance. You know, we saw that with ESV Breeze last week at Nürburgring. He lost a lot of ground early on in the run, but then would gain some ground late, and it looks like we lost a driver possibly. We lost RD Godspeed. Unfortunate for Godspeed, he's had a couple of A-Lobby appearances this series, and unfortunately was not able to complete the race. Not sure if it was due to his connection or not, but a very tough day for him, and an early out. Right now, I still got a lead battle here between Scots and Toys and Supra. See the race map, you can see how it's all spacing out. Back under the tunnel they go. Supra got a nice run. Was looking to the inside, nothing there. Toys still looking to the inside, still nothing there for him as well. Scottson able to hold on to the lead so far in this one. It's been a really tight battle. The top three. Supra right there in that third spot, trying to decide when he wants to make his move. It looks like he might be doing it right now. It looks like Supra looks to the inside, side by side. Oh! But they clip each other just a little bit. Toys to the inside, side by side, going through the S's. Can they hang on? Oh, but Toys, and the outside pass by Jim Supra to the race lead. What a move by Jim Supra. Scots and Toys go bumping and banging. Toys hits the sand, and Supra says, "Don't mind me. I'm gonna make it to the outside." And just like that, Supra to the race lead for his first time today. And SSR Bobbert's not too far away from the battle. Scuffing and banging out there. Now that Supra has the lead, let's see what Scottson and Toys are going to do. Supra started slow in this one, but finally caught up to the guys leading. Can he make a gap on these guys? And you know, patience is a virtue, they say, and Supra was very patient on this lap to make that happen. Started fourth, has moved up to the race lead. Not getting any bonus points this week. He was outside the top three for points as they go through the tunnel here. Scottson looks like he's starting to possibly lose ground on Supra. Toys as well. There's a little bit of gap between the top three, and Bobbert's right there in the fourth spot. Let's check out the field here real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Further back, Amos Huracan duking it out with RD Jansen, and wait a minute, Supra made a little mistake through the S's. Scottson gets right back up there, possibly looking to challenge. We'll have to find out. Was it enough to slow Supra down? I really would hate to leave this battle. Should check on other things on the racetrack right now. We'll hold off on that. Let's wait for this lap to see how this pans out. Scottson back up to the rear bumper. Supra leading the second lap into this race. Toys right there in third. Looks like Toys might have eased off on the pressure a little bit. Scottson got a little wide there. Looked like he almost clipped the outside wall. And Supra still maintaining distance on Scottson. Looks like Toys is starting to creep up on Scottson again. SSR Bobbert's still there in the background, not too far away. And Toys back on the rear bumper. And there they are, nose to tail again. Scottson looked like he got in there a little deep early. Not sure if that messed him up, and it definitely did. And Toys has moved up to the second spot, ladies and gentlemen. FRF Toys has moved up to the second spot because of the mistake by ESV Scottson. We're going to find out what Scottson has to answer for. Let's go further back here and let's take a look at the 7th and 8th place battle. As Jansen tries to track down AMS Huracan. Breeze had passed LMPM at one point. And a little further back, between 9th, 10th, and 11th, it looks like SSR Shane, TGM Brentwood, and FLA Feedy are duking it out for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Shane looks to the inside. It looks like he made a mistake there, and Brentwood's able to get away. Feedy now creeps up on the battle. And right now, they're still duking it out for the 10th spot. Tires all over the racetrack. And Feedy to the inside is Shane. And he gets the job done and moves into the top 10. Let's get back up to the leaders now. And Scottson is caught back up to Toys. And meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, SSR Bobberts is still in the mix. Looks like he's gained a little on these guys in first, second, and third. And oh boy, what just happened? Looks like we might have lost another driver. And we did. SSR Shane. We had lost SSR Shane. Not sure what happened to him. Possible disconnect, unfortunately. That will end his day early, leaving 19 drivers on the racetrack. Or up to 18 drivers on the racetrack. Coming into this race, everyone thought it was going to be Scottson against Toys, but Jim Supra, even though he started outside the top 3 in qualifying, finds himself leading this race, and early on too. And it looks like they might be getting into lap traffic coming up here. And there is, back in the back of the pack, that is SSR MEA. We'll see how these drivers fare with the lap traffic. Though it's only one car, sometimes it's not the easiest route to go. The Toys is starting to catch up to Supra, and if you're Scottson and Bobberts, this is what you want to see. The battle for the race lead as Toys gets in there nice and good. Supra having a little bit of problems going through that section of the track. Toys looks to the inside. It's back in line. There's SSR MEA. And he's got 3 hungry leaders moving up on him. And we saw this before, where Supra was behind. Toys got into Scottson just a little bit, which got them a little squirrely. Will Scottson have the same chance, or can Toys make a pass? Keeping it tight right now amongst the top 3. SSR Bobbert still there in the background. Not that close anymore, about 600 feet back. But with the battle for the race lead, it should keep him around depending on how much these guys fight. SSR MEA in the 18th spot right now, trying to stay on the lead lap, but doesn't look like much longer that's going to be a thing for him. Toys looking to make a move. Oh, but Toys, looks like Toys got a little wiggly back there. But maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was just the way they entered the tunnel. Toys goes to the outside, looking to make a pass on Supra. All over the back bumper. And Supra makes a minor mistake. Look at the crossover by Toys to the inside for the race lead. Not able to get the job done. There's Scottson to the outside of Toys now. And Scottson will make the pass to the inside. So Scottson moves up to the 2nd spot. SSR Bobber's right there in the background still. Can't forget about him. MEA goes to the outside. Looks like he's letting the leaders on through. They didn't have to worry about working too hard there. Scottson moves back up to the 2nd spot now. Still duking it out with Supra and Toys. Toys has shown the pace today. We haven't gotten to see him out front yet. You know, last week it took him quite a bit of time to get to the lead. And he showed that he was able to stay up front. He had a hard charging THR Lightning, was able to take him later into the race. Here he is trying to find a way to get into the front. The real question is, between laps 16 and 19, which one of these guys are going to pit first? Who's going to pit last? And will they pit together? They're all running different... Oh! Ooh, looked like Supra was showing to go to the pits. Maybe it was just a little turn to the right. But Scottson has that outside run to the race lead. Side by side with Supra going into 1. Still side by side. Who's going to give way? And it's got to be Scottson. Supra had the run, and there's Toys right to the inside trying to make something happen. So these 3 are still duking it out. Scottson under a lot of pressure right now with Toys, but has been able to maintain it since losing the lead and finding his pace again. And Toys probably going to look to the inside. Scottson's a little wide. Not enough, though. Toys still over the back bumper of Scottson. Pull up the race map again. See what's going on around the track. TGM Brentwood has been moving up through the field quite a bit, up to that 9 spot. Looks like everybody else is pretty spread out, so not really much for us to go on. There is a battle between Brentwood and TGM, or I'm sorry, FLA Feedy for the 9th spot. Right in front of them is AMS Huracan, the 8th spot. FLA Feedy, he's been behind Brentwood since the beginning of this race. They had to duke it out with SSR Shane for a little bit there, who disconnected. And Toys has moved up to the 2nd spot again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hop on and see what's going on. And it took me a hot minute to get in there. I thought for a minute we were kind of screwed, but that's beside the point. The Supra is still your race leader. FRF Toys took over the 2nd spot. Scottson still back there in 3rd after giving up the spot. Toys. SSR Bob is still in 4th, and ESV Breeze is your top 5 drivers. And if we pull up the race map, you can see how far back Breeze is. So he's quite a ways back. Really, the only driver that challenged his top 3 is SSR Bobberts, and Bobberts is still about 650 feet back. Supra able to gap these guys just a little bit. Toys has shown that pace all week long, that he's got a great pace, and he's getting right on Supra through the tunnel, it looks like right here. It seems like where Toys' greatest strong suits on this track is the tunnel itself in the first quarter of the racetrack. And whoa! A lot of defending right now. Boys getting those great runs to the S's, just hasn't been able to show it. He's been behind everybody so far in this race. Supra struggling through that section quite a bit, and Scottson has caught himself right back up to the backpack of this group. So Toys now back in attack mode. About the 6th time in this race. And look at the nice run that Scott's got. Clip the wall just a little bit, but not enough to slow him too much down. Toys really has the track dialed in right now. Oh, but Toys makes a little mistake right there. He's able to catch himself. Scottson not over pursuing it. And this is where we see Toys get these amazing runs on these guys. Side swing, and look at the speed! And AMS Huracan! Not sure what happened to him. He is slow on the racetrack by himself. All 3 of the drivers go in, and I don't believe that was Huracan that went in, or that was struggling there. Let's take a look. Oh, that is AMS Huracan. Something happened to AMS Huracan, ladies and gentlemen, and that is a rough rough thing to see because he has had such a up and down series so far. But those guys are in the pits and further back. FLA Feedy with LMP Amoeba not too far behind him. It looks like something that happened to AMS Huracan affected probably TGM Brentwood as well, because he's all the way back in 15th. Possibly. That's a tough one to call. So after the pit cycles are over with, Scott's into the race lead with Toys and Supra right behind him. So pit stops have become a factor now. And we're back to the square one of the whole show. And Supra battling with Toys side by side. Still side by side. And look at the move by Supra. Back into the second spot, and Supra's been sensational in this race. So they should all make it to the end on gas at this point. Scottson, who inherited the lead during the pit cycle. And if you're just tuning in, we got a barn burner here as ESV Scots and Jim Super and FRF Toys duking it out. Have been since the start of the race. Just got done taking a pit stop. And literally, the three of them swapped. It went from Supra, Toys, and Scottson to Scottson, Toys, and Supra. Supra got the second spot back. Scottson trying to have a little distance. Toys looks to the inside of Supra now for the second spot, and Toys looking to clear him. The only place that Toys hasn't seen today is first. He's been second and third, on and off. Scottson and Hydra or Supra have been the only two that have seen the up front position. And Toys has shown that he's a lot better on the racetrack in certain sections than both of them, but has not been able to make the pass for the race lead, and it's been a struggling point for him. As SSR Bobbert's still there in the background, but has lost pace. Ooh, Supra gets a little bit deep in that corner, just gets a little bit of a bump. Toys still holding on to the inside line. Supra trying to get to the outside now. Down ESV Scottson once again. Scottson, Toys getting closer to one another again, and we're gonna find out right here how good Toys is through the tunnel, because this is where he closes his gaps on everybody. And look at that! I mean, he's already gained at least a car and a half length on Scottson through the tunnel. But Scottson had just as good of a run. But look at Toys' speed. I mean, he's right there. Toy is just that much better coming out of the final corner. Very good through the S's. Looking to battle for the race lead. Toys all over the back bumper of Scottson now. Side by side they go. Bumping and banging. Toys goes to the race lead. And he gets the job done. FRF Toys, ladies and gentlemen, first time today is your race leader. Supra looks to the inside on Scott's and nothing there. Scott's not backing down yet. But we're going to find out how good Toys is here today, because Toys has shown just how much better he's been at many points of this racetrack. Can Scottson and Hydras keep with him? Sorry, Supra. So used to call him Hydra still. The big part of the track where these two got to keep with Toys is through the tunnel. Everywhere else seems to be okay, but the tunnel, he just finds a way to make that entrance so much better than everyone else. And here we go through the tunnel. And Supra's fading off into the distance now. And look at Scottson getting into the draft, able to hang with him. Maybe the draft is just that much better. Oh! Car hits the track a little bit hard there. Supra's starting to fade, but we've seen this before. In the battle for the race lead, anything's going to happen here. All that Supra has to do is stay close. Scottson's still working on FRF Toys. Only one driver, actually two drivers are a lap down. I believe that would be AMS Huracan. Oh, Esther MEA had disconnected out of this race. Pull up the race map. You see how spread the field is. Not a whole lot going on. Well, 9th, 10th, and 11th, or I'm sorry, 9th and 10th between FLA Feedy and QLS Claudio. They're duking it out right now. Let's take a look at them while they battle it out for the lead. They're not as close as the track is showing it, so we'll go back to the race lead there, but hop back on ESV Scottson here. And those guys have been struggling in that section of the track quite a bit today. Boy's still leading this one. He's been in the lead for a few laps now. Scottson got back in his groove after having a little bit of a scuffle earlier in this race and dropped him back to third. Supra got the lead, but ever since he's lost, it hasn't been the same, and he's lost ground on these two guys in the front. The race isn't over yet. Anything can happen. Toys and Scottson. Toys has been more aggressive than Scottson has throughout the race. We get to find out what Scottson can do. And ooh, looks like they got a little, possibly a little deeper than Toys did there. Not sure if that affects him too much. In the draft, this is where the car behind really gets the advantage, because nothing you can do being up front. All you can do is try to hold your line, and look at the pull on the draft right there. I mean, it's amazing how much it's pulling in, and look at the move. Scottson looks to the inside. Does he have to run? He got his nose underneath him. Not able to get it. It wasn't going to risk it either. So always trying to make something happen to get away from Scottson, but Scottson not giving an inch. Boys coming in the last few weeks, he's needed a win pretty badly. About 8 laps left in this one. Anything can happen, but Supra has fallen off quite a bit, so the battle for the race lead between Toys and Scottson is still going head to head. Scottson just staying close to Toys as much as he can, trying to find that special line that can get him right back to the race lead. However, Super looks like he got a pretty good lap there. He is a little bit off though, but he's still within striking distance if something was to go wrong. Scottson, oh look at that! Toys makes a mistake. Scottson gets to the outside of Toys. Side by side as they go up the hill. Who's gonna give way? It's Toys that gives way this time, and Scottson retakes the lead with only 7 more to go. So, MEA is the next car on the lead lap. That could go down a lap as Scottson and Toys are on their way. Toys has been so good being the car behind today, but it took him such a long time to get to the lead, and Scottson retaking the lead. How much could this shake things up late? Supra not giving up just yet. He's back there in the 3rd spot. Let's see what happens here. They're gaining on MEA. Toys right there still. He's going to get a good run off the corner. He's going to get right in that draft. And it's going to pull him right back up the Scottson going into 1. What will Zaterra do? Zaterra not having the best of days either. Just nice and easy, but Scottson and Toys just that much better. And Zaterra gonna lift just a little bit right there and let these boys on by. Super still not there just yet. Something must have happened to LMPM. He had to make another pit stop into the race, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Supra getting by Mixa Tariff now. Bobbert's faded off quite a bit. Breeze all alone. Pretty much everybody's all alone, but the lead battle right now between Toys and Scottson here at Dubai. And Toys to the inside, going into one. And he'll get the spot back. Yes, he will. And Toys retakes the lead here. And now they're going back and forth. Toys and Scottson duking it out. So Scottson's going to have to try to make another move. Hopefully that wasn't muted the whole time. Supra still there. Still not where he wants to be. Toys getting about a car length between him and Scottson as they go through the desert. Through the tunnel they go with a bunch of tires, so obviously people have ran into some things earlier in the race. We've noticed the tires have gotten more and more into the tunnel. Now Scottson gets into that draft. Is he still close enough? Or did Toys get enough distance on him? Back up to the bumper of Toys as they go up the hill. Still not giving up an inch just yet. Toys is still trying to do everything he can to distance himself, but it seems like no matter what you do, unless the second place car makes a big mistake, you know, you're gonna be hanging around that other guy. And well, obviously we've seen that between Toys, Scottson, and Supra throughout this race. Supra has faded off since the pit stops, unfortunately. Scottson got to run through the desert. Here we go. Back into the tunnel. Scottson looks to go to the outside. Oh, like a little bit of a lag right there, but he makes something happen. They're side by side going up the hill, and Scottson back to the race lead. Swapping back and forth, Scottson and Toys, and Toys looked to the outside there, thought maybe he had a run, but got right back in line with Scottson. I mean, if you're Supra right now, who's in that third spot, a little ways back, that's what you want to see. You want these guys duking it out, but the problem is they're not making too many mistakes against one another, and that's not giving Supra an opportunity to get back to the rear of this battle. Only a few laps to go in this one, and the battle for the race lead has been nothing but sensational. We haven't really been able to go over to the field because if you can see here, it's pretty spread out all over. Further back, though, there looks like there's a battle for lap-down track cars between FLA Red One and MEA Terup, though. They just got passed by SSR Bobberts a little bit ago. Yes. A little bit of a tough call out there right now. 8th and 9th, still between Feedy and Claudio. LMP Amoeba had taken a position from ESV Breeze. Something happened to Breeze that put Jansen up to the 5th spot. What did I just do? Oh, I jumped on Toys. I meant to jump back here on that little battle, but it looks like they had separated just a little bit there, so the Toys in the lead right now. We'll hop on with Scottson, and this is why certain drivers, I don't sit on them, ladies and gentlemen, for too long, is because there's this thing that if someone's connection's a little bit weaker compared to other people's, if you sit on them, sometimes that messes up their connection because now you're sitting on their car and you're trying to have the two connections already, let alone the lobby. So people with stronger connections like Scottson and Hydra, or Supra, sorry, Bobbers and others, you try to sit on them more so that you try not to mess up. Because if you guys remember at week 1 at Mugello, we were sitting on FRF Toys for a good portion of that race, and then he lagged out. So just a little bit of conspiracy there. Not sure if it's true or not, but we also had that situation happen back in the MEA Proto Orca and Touring Car Championship Series where every time I would sit on RDE, or I'm sorry, it was RBM, not stance, but hard play, he would always lag out. So we tried to avoid certain drivers whose connections struggle to sit on them. But if you're just tuning in, this is a good one. We only got a couple laps to go, and ESV Scots and FRF Toys have been making it super interesting late. Jim Supra had been there at one point and the race leader at one point until the pit stops happened, and then hasn't been the same ever since. He had an amazing pass in the beginning of the race that gave him the race lead over Toys and Scottson. He's still there. He's still ready to pounce if something was to go wrong between Toys and Scottson. But these two have been racing very, very tough against one another, and it's been really fun to watch. And we thought for a while Toys' car was that much better coming out of the corner, but realizing that the draft has just been keeping these guys sucked in. And right now, section of the track that all three of these guys haven't been phenomenal in, but Toys and Scottson have made it happen. Super just got through it himself. Next time by, white flag, so it's getting good here. Scottson, Toys, going back around that roundabout. We hear the fireworks for the 27th time in this race. You would feel that that would be something you would implement at the end of a race. Scottson all over the back bumper, though. And Toys pick up his first win. This is a first win on the season for both of these drivers. The difference is, Toys has never won an MEA event, so could it be his first time ever? Scottson trying to get back on the top spot. It's been a while. He had a glimmer of it last week, and so did Toys. The only other drivers to win this season was THR Lightning and Jim Supra, as these two pass on by Diamond Man. So only 12 drivers still on the lead lap, and Scottson has to make a pit stop. An unscheduled pit stop by ESV Scottson. Engine damage for FRF Toys. Toys trying to play the fuel strategy. Can he make it to the end? An unprecedented turn of events as Scottson decided to make a late pit stop. Toys coasting the rest of the racetrack, trying to make it to the end on fuel. And Jim Supra looks like he's hard charging and is not planning on stopping. So can Supra make it to the end on fuel? You can hear Toys. He's right in front of Supra. Supra. He is pushing all of his limits, ladies and gentlemen. Right here, right now, and is not backing down as Toys is right in front of him, who's just trying to save fuel. He's also on 2%. Meanwhile, SSR Bobbert's back there in the third spot. He's down to the same situation. No, he's actually better on fuel. He's got a better fuel strategy than the other two drivers. Could he do something? So let's hop back on with FRF Toys. Only this much track to go. Supra and Toys trying to make it to the end on fuel. Can they do it? And Toys just completely slows the car down. But I think Supra might have completely ran out of fuel already. Bobbert's running as hard as he can. Bobbert's going for the second spot. But it doesn't matter because Toys is going to come across the line. No gas in the tank. And he will take week number 4 here at Dubai. Supra trying to get to the line, and he does. Bobbert's third. Scottson, probably a disappointing day for him. He thought maybe they would run out and he would be able to catch him at the end, but Scottson not able to do so. He will bring the car home fourth. R.D. Jansen trying to make it to finishing 5th. He's coming around the final corner, out of gas. LMP Amoeba also out of gas. So 6 should go to Amoeba, but Breeze tried to do the fuel strategy, was not able to do it. Comes home 7th. 8th, FLA Feedy. He's got QLS Claudio on his rear. And he'll make it. Claudio will take his first top 10 on the season, but look at this. I don't know what Yem's doing. He'll come home 10th. And, oh wow, ESV Delete with all sorts of damage on the car. Smacks the outside wall. Delete not having the best of days today. He'll bring home 11th. TGM Brentwood had made another pit stop late in this race. And then he crushes the outside wall going into the tunnel. He should come home 12th. FLA Red one. bringing the car home 13th, 14th. And we will have post-race interviews coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, so just stay tuned for that. But Diamond Man 2014 is going to bring that car home 14th. 15th, the FVR Jamster. A quiet day for him. Started at the rear, but picked up some positions. 16th, Mex the Terrap. Was a struggle for him today as well. Cars that he's not usually driving, and so kudos to him for stepping out of his comfort zone and trying a series that isn't something that he's normally in. And then what seemed to be a possible up-and-coming week for Huracan. Started 7th, was able to hang on for the longest time. Unfortunately caught himself into some issues late or mid-race as he races with the AI. He'll end up bringing home 17th. Just trying to stay in that top 16 to get into week 10. It's all that matters. And as long as you complete your race, and AMS Huracan is one of those guys that doesn't back down from the challenge, even in the worst circumstances. He stayed out until the end, and he'll cross the line at 17th. So that is your final results today. And we will get the top 5 guys here momentarily. And that'll wrap it up for week number 4. Just stay tuned. Post-race interviews coming up next as we talk to the drivers in the top 5. And obviously RD Jansen, we won't be able to speak to him, and probably not FRF Toys either. But with that all being said, what a race day for some of these guys. It was a very eventful battle up at the front between Toys, Supra, and Scottson. And then obviously Scottson and Toys duked it out for the longest time. And now we will bring the drivers on in here to have a post-race interview up next. Jansen already left, so we'll probably not get to talk to him. We'll see if we can talk to Toys. I think that's it. We're Supra. I don't know here. So again, post-race interviews coming up next. First time any MEA winner, FRF Toys, picking up his first ever win in MEA and also in the MEA Prototype Challenge. Definitely made up for week number 1 at Mugello after disconnecting in a hard-fought battle with him and Supra back at that time. And definitely exciting for him as we still wait for the other guys to join the chat. I know I got one of them in here so far. There's Scottson. And then we're just waiting for Bobberts and Toys. And I believe we have everybody in here. And we do. All right, so we are going to begin post-race interviews, and we're going to start with talking about RD Jansen finishing 5th overall. ESV Breeze taking a late pit stop to try to beat the fuel strategy. Unfortunately was not able to do so with Amoeba and Jansen enabling the holdout to finishing 5th and 6th. But a good day for Jansen nonetheless. Started more so mid-pack. And then moving up to the 4th place spot, your pole sitter for this week, and probably a disappointing day, but very eventful for ESV Scottson. And Scottson, what was the thought process there going into the final lap? Obviously, you took the late pit stop with 1 to go. And were you thinking that maybe they would run out and you were able to catch them at the end?
I mean, I don't know what's happened here because I think everybody got told to pit, but the game told me to pit, so I just went in because usually when that sign comes up, that means you're not going to get to the finish line with the following lap, you know what I mean? So.
Right. And obviously, you all were very low on the fuel at the end there, and obviously, Toys, Supra had stayed out, and they were able to barely get there to the end. And obviously, you went into the pits. In that moment, when you saw everyone stay out, though, and obviously, to your knowledge, when it tells you to pit, you're going to pit. Did you think, okay, they're going to run out, I'm going to be able to get there by the end?
I was hoping so, but that wasn't what happened.
Well, it was a very, eventful day for you. Supra and Toys there. I mean, you guys duked it out for the longest time. Obviously, after the pit cycle, you inherited the lead, and then Supra kind of faded off, and you and Toys were duking it out. It felt like with all the battling that you guys were doing, it really ate up the fuel in your guys' car there. As you came late, I think if you guys could have gotten one more lap and you should have been fine. But, I mean, talk about the battles between you three today. It seemed like it was super tough out there. And you guys seemed to pass in the same sections of the racetrack. It didn't seem like there was a whole lot of passing zones for you guys.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good fight between the three of us. Toys was very quick today. Had a good pace. I think I went with the wrong strategy for aero, to be honest, because you could see on the straights how much he was catching me, being able to pass.
It seemed like the draft between the final turn and going into one was a big factor too today. It seemed like as long as you were within the draft, you stayed there with the group. Does that seem to be like a realistic standpoint on that, or was that just his car that much better on the straights?
I mean, it was weird because I think because I was running higher aero, Toys was like running less, so it was easier for him to get around me, but then when you're chasing with higher aero, it's much more difficult to get around, but the draft will pull you along.
Well, Scottson, not the result you're looking for today. Obviously, you had the car to win the race. You duked it out all race long. Top 5 finish, not bad. It keeps you in very good position in the points, and obviously, with Lightning not making an event today and whatnot, that the points between the top 6 have gotten very tight. But not a bad day for you, and obviously, I'm sure you're looking to rebound going forward. But congratulations on a top 5 finish. Not the result you wanted, but I'm sure you'll redeem yourself going into next week. And that was ESC Scottson finishing 4th overall today. And then 3rd place finisher SSR Bobberts. And Bobberts, very, very dull race for you. You were there battling with Supra early on. You lost the lead pack. You were kind of by yourself, and it seemed like as they were battling throughout the race, you were there, but you just could not get there. And then obviously as the race progressed, it seemed to distance yourself further and further. But was there a little bit of fuel strategy saving there at the end of the race for you? It seemed you had a little bit more in the tank, it looked like, going into the final lap. So you were able to full throttle through the rest of the track where everyone else was kind of saving, like Supra and Toys are late. Was that your strategy in this race today?
Just how I always drove every single lap. I mean, there's like literally 2 braking zones where I don't brake into the corner. I just ease off the throttle to save. That's just how my driving line was. And but yeah, I mean, I was happy to have good pace, I think, today. I didn't have the consistency as the top 3 guys did, but I had the 1 lap pace. So I was pretty happy this week that I could actually, not quite mix it in with them, but at least be close-ish to them, I guess you could say. Even though I don't particularly like to guys
it seemed like the start of the race, you didn't get the best start off the line either. Super got right in front of you right away.
I was caught napping. In all honesty, I just got, oh crap, that's long. So yeah, obviously I lost that place straight away to Super. I knew he'd get past me eventually, even if I did hold him off. So it was inevitable.
Well, nonetheless, Bob, it's a top 3 finish for you today. Obviously, top 5, but I know that these aren't cars that you've been accustomed to. You know that you were in the Proto Orca series, racing in the Orcas, and obviously you're more of a GT guy. How much do you feel like you have grown in these cars, knowing that the result today could have been anywhere? But just how much for you has it grown on you over the course of the season so far?
Like I said, as you said, I don't really drive these, kind of prototype cars. As we do these series, I'm going to try and get accustomed to them a bit more, and maybe practice them a bit more, get myself a bit quicker, gain those few extra tenths and be more consistent with them. Like the likes of Scott, Toy, Super, Lightning, and all them are, and Yami as well. Can't discount him. So. Yeah, like I said, it's a learning process, and in time, I think I'll hopefully improve at these and be challenging.
Well, thank you very much, Bobberts, on coming in here today and talking to us, and obviously a good finish for you, and hopefully more results to come. But obviously the consistency needs to be cleaned up. But I'm sure you're looking forward for the challenge.
I am indeed.
All right, that's SSR Bobberts, ladies and gentlemen, top 3 finisher here today. And just so you guys remember, I'm sure you guys all know, but if not already and I haven't talked to you yet, make sure your audio is on. And then Jim Supra, ladies and gentlemen, finishing 2nd overall today. Supra, it was a very eventful race for you, quite a bit, especially early on. You had the battle. You're sitting there right behind Scottson and Toys, who were duking it out. They made I wouldn't say a big mistake, but they made a pretty big enough mistake through that little S section, where you literally got to the outside. I mean, we were right on it, and you made that beautiful hard pass to the outside for the race lead. And it seemed like for a while there, that was the determining point of the race, and then obviously the pit cycle happened, and then you seemed to fall off. What happened there late after the pit cycle, and why it seemed like it would be such a trouble for you to stay with them?
Absolutely none, really. I just got passed in the pits by AI for no reason, and then they just got a jump on me out of the pits, and they had draft, so I couldn't keep up. It was pretty much impossible. But we all the top boys, we all ran out of fuel, and I don't know why. But I think that should be looked into next week, personally. I don't know. It is what it is.
And obviously they're late. You and Toys decided to stay out on the track, and you know, you're trying to see if you can nip them at the end there. Obviously, it seemed like on the last lap you actually were like, you know, I'm just going to go out, see if I can catch Toys late. Was that your strategy, knowing that you were low on fuel?
No, I knew I could make it to the end if I just let off pretty much halfway around the track. So,
right.
No.
So like I asked Scottson, do you feel like the draft was a big factor into today's race?
Yeah, too big if you ask me. It was about half a second.
The difference, I think Toys was able to pass me a lot easier than I was able to pass him.
Well, obviously we could see it on the racetrack, and obviously, you know, it showed how close you guys were, and unless somebody really made a big mistake, it was inevitable to stay within that person unless you were, you know, that much faster. But nonetheless, Supra, obviously 2nd overall, not the worst place to be in today. Obviously, you got to win on the season. With Lightning not showing up this week and possibly for the rest of the season, that inherits you to the points lead, I do believe, after today. So not the best result, not the result I'm sure you were looking forward after having that issue through the pits, but overall 2nd isn't that bad. But congratulations on your results today, and we're looking forward to seeing you go into next week.
Thanks.
So that was Jim Supra, everybody, 2nd overall. And FRF Toys, congratulations. First MEA win, first win on the season. And Toys, what a battle it was for you today. Just take us through your race. And it seemed like no matter what you did for the longest time, you just couldn't get the lead, but you were able to get there late. How were you able to get it done?
Was because I was using as rear wheel. So, as Scott said, it was easier for me to get past straight from the last corner to the first corner.
And you know, you were sitting there in 2nd for the longest time, you know, between Scottson and Supra taking the lead. Were you getting a little frustrated at some points of the races, like, oh man, they could keep getting to the lead and I keep sitting behind them, or were you just pretty calm and collective throughout that race?
Yeah, I knew I had the pace at least to keep up. So every time I made a mistake and I got a little far from the group, I was managing to catch up. So I stayed calm and keep racing.
Well, Toys, congratulations. I know week 1 when you and Super were battling and it, you know, you had that disconnection, it was very heartbreaking for you. You were very fast that week. And then obviously the last, you know, week number 2 at Catalunya, it seemed like it was all, you know, just things were going wrong left and right. But then last week, things were going well for you. Obviously, you weren't able to hold off late in the race, but picking up your first win on the season, do you expect to be up here more often? And what's your plan going forward?
Yeah, I expect to be like in the top 3, and I will do my best to keep it up with the guys because they are really fast.
Well, congratulations, Toys, on your first win on the season, your first win in MEA, and we're looking forward to seeing how much more possible wins you'll get on the season. So congratulations today.
Thank you.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, that's your top 5 right there with FRF Toys, your race winner here at week number 4 here at Dubai. 2nd overall would be Jim Supra. SSR Blobberts takes 3rd. ESV Scottson will be your 4th place finisher. 5th, RDA Jansen. And then the rest on the screen is the top 10, including a couple others for the remainder of this race. I'm SSR Mayhem. Thank you for watching week number 4, as we will see you next week. Until next time, Have a wonderful night, everyone, and be safe out there.